What's going on, guys? This is Dalton back again with another locals feature match. This is Andrew versus Raymond. This is Spright versus, I believe, Tearlament Shaddoll. Raymond does like to play the Shaddolls quite a bit. This is new format, of course. New ban list taking effect on the 3rd. So we're gonna see. Andrew loves Spright. Definitely a deck that he was very excited for when Power of the Elements came out. A little upset that Ronin is banned now, but he's still finding ways to get it working. So it looks like Andrew just went ahead and passed. I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe it's just a bunch of hand traps possibly, but you're gonna see Raymond open up Tearlament, the field spell, into Sharon, into the Shaddoll. He hits, I think that's Shaddoll Incarnation, I believe that's the name of the card. And here's Rhino Heart. That's probably the best normal summon he has in his deck besides Merle. He's going to dump Havness and start with Kit Kalos. Not too sure what was the other card he hit there. So Kit Kalos is going to grab him Merle if it does not get me by Imperm. Alright, and it looks like he just has a bunch of back row cards, just a bunch of traps and spells, so just gonna get in for some damage. No, not lethal or anything. And I think Raymond plays the Redoer. He does play the Redoer. That's something different. I don't think he was on that before, new format, but he's just gonna go ahead and pass here and hits a monster, so he will get to do the banish effect, which is good, because these cards are, of course, activated or detached as effect, not cost. So he will get the Sharon effect, which will get him a Winda. Andrew's going to start off with a Prosperity for 6 for sure, just trying to dig for something good. And it does look like Andrew is on the Geldagra Schism package. This is an idea that a buddy, Dylon, and I were talking about a while back, even before Ronin. Geldagra just being able to send 2 monsters to the graveyard from the extra deck, one of them being like Alkalom. Maybe sometimes if you play Garura, you draw a card. And he's going to go ahead and starter, which is going to get blue, of course, and then he's going to chain Redoer to the effect. Blue is going to add Jet. And of course, this is going to be Winda. Very, very straightforward. And I see Swap Frog. He's still playing the frogs. Okay, it looks like he's still doing that. Just looking at what he wants to do. I would think this is a Winda more than anything. I mean, the way that it's played. Okay, Dragos Tapelia is also a very good card. Yeah, this is pretty well. He's going to activate Tearlament to pop the blue. This is going to change Smashers in response. So this is good. Looks like Raymond's hand is Havness. I believe that's a trap. I don't know what trap that is. And he's going to starter, or he's going to Jet, and Havness does hit that. Does hit a name, so that's definitely going to get Winda here for sure. And usually the Spright deck only plays 1. Or a Kaleido Heart. Yeah, I mean, these are all good choices as well. He's going to spin the Swap Frog back to the deck. And I think that's a Nib. Or a swap back to the hand. Oh, no, it is back to the deck. Okay, I was correct the first time. Looks like Nib, a spell from Andrew's side. Nothing too crazy here. The Redo will come back, and looks like that is probably just going to be game here. Comes back, and that was basically the 3rd field spell. Or was that? Yeah, the 3rd field spell. Tearlament is going to grab probably Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart's going to dump a name, and that is going to be it. So this is just kind of going through the motions here. Going to dump. That's going to change starter. Starter. I guess, well, I guess this is, why didn't he do starter? Oh, I guess he could just negate the monster that he sends off Rhino Heart. That's fine, comparatively. And just go to battle, walk over. And that is going to be the end of the game. Yeah, it took too much damage for first and foremost. So they're going to go ahead and get side real quick. On Andrew's side, I feel like he does have some good cards going first against Tier. I don't know if he's still on the Scythe package for going first, but that is a very good package. I'm not sure if he's on D-Barrier, cards like that. I haven't got to talk to Andrew much about his list going forward with Spright. I know that they've been wanting to try the Runic build, but outside of that, not much info outside of that. I should talk to him more about it because Spright is definitely still very good, and Raymond's hand is just ridiculous. Dark Ruler, Sharon, Instant Fusion for Kikalos. He just has everything to go off. Unfortunately, if there's no anti-spell here for Andrew, it's not going to be great for him. Andrew's thinking about his lines, for sure. Gonna start off on the Prosperity. This is kind of important, I've noticed in the Spright deck. You can banish 6, but you do have to be careful with the lines you take. And it looks like he is on Beaver as well. There are some builds that are still playing Adventure. Adventure is still a solid engine to go. It's better going second than some of these hand traps that this deck plays. So that's gonna be normal summon Gildagra. That's not where you really want to be. He hits a Shaddoll here. He's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. That is going to. Oh, he didn't actually hit a name. Okay, never mind. Oh, there's Solik. All right. Grab Rhino Heart. Just ensuring that he has a play for next turn. Jet's gonna add starter. Surprised he's not grabbing Smashers here. I guess he has an Imperm, so starter getting the red is gonna be more important than the banish effect, I suppose. He really doesn't want to activate Gildagra until he does get to Elf, I assume, or just starter here, get red, protect it. So that is going to send App Cologne. App Cologne is going to add Schism, make him discard a card as well. There are a lot of free cards that he can dump here. Basically, any card, an extra hand trap, the name he bounces off with Swap Frog, things like that. Because he will get the follow up off the Toad regardless. So a little bit of glare there, but this was kind of like on the fly, trying to make this setup decent. So gonna go into Gigantic. Gigantic's gonna swim the Frog, of course. It's gonna dump another Swap Frog. And then he's gonna have to use the blue and the Gigantic to go into Spright Elf. Spright Elf revive the Frog. And go into totally awesome. So basically just a slight deviation of what you used to do. Basically you just used to do the Ronin Totem line, and that was gave you a little more follow-up. This is a little more you're a little more fragile to cards like DD Crow. You're a little more fragile to Call by the Grave, things like that. So it definitely changes the way the deck is played just a little bit. Raymond's going to go ahead and start off on Dark Ruler no more, of course. And then it's probably going to be Instant Fusion. I assume this is going to be the first line of play. Let's see what it can do here. Yep. There's the Instant Fusion. I suppose you do Winda here of all things, but I think Raymond has a second Dark Ruler, funny enough, so that it just really doesn't matter. The Winda, you know, it's gonna make Kikalos here. There was a thought to make Winda there, but I suppose you're not too worried about it if you are if you have the Imperm. I suppose that it does not matter as much nearly. You kind of want to get him in the thing of like activating Sharon maybe, and oh, there's a Scythe. Yeah, so Scythe is some people play like anti-spell or maybe D-Barrier, but I believe that Artifact Sanctum is probably the best going first card that this deck can make. or like the first going like floodgate the deck can make. It's basically like a turn skip for most decks outside of Flunder, and it just so happens at this tournament that there was a lot of Flunder. So maybe going forward, Flunder is a deck that is more represented. Maybe Artifact Sanctum's a little out of favor, but like it's not like Anti-Spell is super great versus decks like that either. I mean, I guess you stop the map, but they still have Advent, things like that. I guess you stop the pots, but you know, if they have Engine, they have Engine. They're just gonna go off, just like Raymond here. He's just gonna, you know, send him early off Rhino Heart, get his combos going. He's going to. What was that? Oh, just battle, I suppose. Yep. Okay. And then Kalos is going to go graveyard because Instant Fusion does make it destroy itself on end phase, and then it is going to activate its effect to mill 5. Hits Havness, Murley. I believe that's Hedgehog. Yeah, that is Hedgehog. So he's going to get a few effects here to add Beast. So the Shaddolls do add a decent amount of grind to this deck that I do like, a little bit more depth, because I feel like the pure tier build is a little fragile in the sense of you are just hand traps and Engine. You're not like, you don't really have anything outside of Kikalos and Kaleido Heart and the field spell. You just kind of have that, and maybe like Millennium Eyes, Dracos Tapelia, but nothing that like most of the decks are not playing through right now. With the deck like Sword Soul kind of coming back as well, and that deck can play Super Poly, I'm pretty sure that you just have to like make the tier deck a little more in depth. You can't just like play Pier. I don't think Pier is that great. I do like the Adventure build. I like the Shaddolls, even though like I do think they are kind of like bricks. They are when you draw them, but they do add a nice Floodgate or an instant I win button to this deck that it does need sometimes. But Kaleido Heart plus the field spell is already just an obnoxious combination of cards. So we're kind of at this board state where like he didn't really walk over, like he's not gonna walk over that much, like really. He still has the Schism. I guess he can send a dart to the graveyard. He's already used Havness effect, so possibly he could do that. Okay, so Gigantic Spright. Not sure what you grab here. I guess like Carrot, because if you fear the back row, it's probably your best bet. Beaver is not great. Carrot's probably like the best thing you can do. Sometimes with the Spright deck, your second Gigantic Spright, if you already have Engine, it just doesn't matter about like the gigantic summon sometimes, but it's gonna crash into Rhino Heart. So it's gonna crash into Havness and take 14. Raymond does have another Dark Ruler, so he's going to get to play, and that is Shayron gonna dump the Beast as well. So he's gonna draw a card if that's the line he does take. Draws per turn. I think that's another copy of Shayron. Not a card that's going to be too crazy. So let's see. Yep, there's Shayron. Probably going to flip Schism here. There's really just no way around this. I think Andrew's been very patient with the Schism, which is good for him. Yeah, there's a Schism. So even if he hits any names here, it will just not matter. The Dark Ruler, of course, being not a quick play. Send that. Hits Aerial, so that is nice. Doesn't get the Havness effect. He's gonna get the draw effect, the Aerial effect. Maybe he does want to go ahead and maybe activate Elf here. Don't think he's too scared of what Raymond is doing here. Yep. So Dark Ruler, Foolish Burial. That is, wow. That was his other card. That is a pretty good draw, honestly. This is gonna get him to another Engine. Rhino Heart's gonna activate the effect, dumping the Shayron. Then he's gonna get Shayron effect, Rhino effect, dump Murley. Or, yep, dump Murley, then Fuse, make Kalos. So this is still looking pretty good for Raymond, honestly. Let's see what he can make here. Of course, it's going to be Kikalos, of course. Kikalos and Merly. It's going to mill 8. Oh, yep, resolving this correctly. So, probably make Dracos Tapelia, I assume. That is a big body to walk over Toad. You can also make... Yeah, no Dracos Tapelia. Looks like he's on 2 Dracos Tapelia from what I just saw. So, yep. Add this card. I think a lot of people slept on this card when this deck came out. A lot of people were on the Book of Moon effect, but the actual like effect veiler card is Solic, I think is the name of it. That card is actually just pretty crazy. So we're just gonna go battle here. Sharon, of course, having 1800 attack for no reason at all, just because. Rhinoheart having 1500 is gonna walk over the beaver, or walk over the elf. That's going to walk over the window, and the whole board is cracked. Toad will add back the beaver, but that is going to get met by Dracos Tapelia, of course. I'm not sure if Andrew plays Pixies. Okay, call us into that. Not sure what Andrew's really thinking about. Maybe starter. Oh, no, Smashers. I forgot that he did it. So maybe you just want to banish the Kikalos. Yeah, the Kikalos is probably the best card. And then from there, it's pretty simple. Just run over the rest of the board, save that. Possibly go into Redoer here. Or Dweller. I guess Dweller is not too bad. But the Redoer is probably just better. Dweller doesn't do like that much against this deck, so maybe not. Maybe it is just leave 2 bodies. Yes, set 1. Okay. Andrew draws. I think that was maybe Pot of Prosperity that he drew. So a little bit in the tank here. Kind of noticing. Yeah, that is Prosperity. You don't really want to use any more of your extra deck. Even 3 at this point in the game is like pretty rough. Like even just to get a name, I think, yeah, just end on that. And then this is like, I think this is maybe the first time I've ever seen this card actually like summoned. I've never read the Fire Shaddoll. I think this card came out in the structure deck a long time ago when I first got back into the game after like 10 years. But it's gonna either summon it face, I think it's face up attack position or defense position, or face down. Not too sure what it does, honestly. It must be pretty good though if Andrew is reading it, and he does play it. I'll have to definitely look that card up. I don't even know the name of it, honestly. It's like, I know Genius is the Earth one. Oh gosh, I call this like the fire Shaddoll. Like, not sure what it fucking does, honestly. Take it if he wants to let this resolve, and it must not be too crazy. Toad's gonna summon from deck the last swap frog. So that is good. So, kind of in a conversation here. I'm not too sure what's going on. I think time is running down in the game. Definitely, like, these decks take a while. I've said this before. These games take a long time. Lots of going back and forth, board breaking. Even with new format, I feel like what I was watching was kind of still just a lot of turns going back and forth. Not so much of just breaking a board or OTKing your opponent. Like, this game is very back and forth. Yep, add back the Beaver. And he's going to set 1 and pass. Just try to get that damage in because time rules have not been changed yet. We are still at 40 minutes. There's the Beaver effect. Beaver's going to summon from deck. It can also summon from graveyard, which it does. It was, I was on Beaver even before Hulk and everything got banned. I just thought Beaver was a little more resilient, a little more grindy. And it's kind of like how Spright was starting with 2 elf at first, and then like as like I played, like the first week I played this deck, maybe the second week, I did realize the 3 elf just is too important to not play. It's gonna target back the Toad. Probably this is gonna be Draco's Tapelia. Yep. Set 1 and go. And from here, I think time will be called, but the Schism, the Winda is nice. I've like, Geldogger is not your best normal summon if you have to normal summon. It is a level 2. It's not crazy, anything like that. But we're gonna get it in for a little bit of damage here, and I think that's gonna be the end of the game, really, because I think time does get called here in this round. Andrew, very methodical player. He doesn't play like super slow or anything. Just thinks a lot about his time, you know, his plays. And this game was, I feel like at some point in this game he was very much in this. So it's hard to, like, you can't scoop because you're already down a game. So you just have to like make the best of it. He's just gonna set, pass, and yeah, this is not looking good from the Spright deck when Draco's Tapelia. Very similar to, I feel like DPE in that sense, where where you basically had a simplified board state and you can't get anything done because the pop is just so relevant. But we are going to see Raymond take the win here over the Spright deck. Tier just continues to impress, even with new format. I think the Spright deck is just a little, like, it's kind of why I moved away from it. I'm just kind of not too sold on this deck anymore. If it wasn't doing anything before this, it's definitely not doing anything now. But thanks guys for watching, of course. Gonna try to post more videos in the future with locals match. Just trying to make sure my GoPro is all good. But thanks guys for watching. Have a good one.